Hi guys, welcome to Origin. So, I have a degree in music, and I'm interested in the future. So what do you get when you combine these two things? The future of music, obviously. So, let's start off with something which I think is fairly obvious. We're seeing a huge trend towards streaming. That's going to continue until it dominates, I think, if we're being... I don't see how anything else can happen. I mean, networks are getting better. Um, you know, at the moment I have a phone that has 4G. I think I'm limited to 500 megabytes, which isn't really enough to listen to music on a repeated basis outside. You need to have a Wi-Fi connection more or less. But I think especially as we move towards 5G, and as the technology advances at the exponential rate that it's known to, then you're going to see contracts that are not measured in hundreds of megabytes or even a few gigabytes, but you're going to see them in eventually hundreds of gigabytes or even terabytes. And then, people will be able to listen to music everywhere, and they won't even necessarily be limited by what's on streaming sites right now. They could let a YouTube video play and then just listen to some obscure local band as they're walking around. And I think companies like Spotify and Apple have just recently released Apple Music. They need to is it Apple Music, I think? Yeah. But they need to consider these things because these could be threats. Production, I think it's fairly clear. I mean, people are going to keep playing instruments because there's something inherently rewarding about learning how to play an instrument. And there are people who are pretty much always just going to prefer conventional music played on instruments rather than electronic music. I don't personally agree with that. I mean, I know I've been quite vocal about my love of heavy music in the past, and that's still very much true. And not a lot of heavy music uses electronic sounds, but when it does, it's really something that I love to hear it, and I'm getting more into electronic music as well, as certainly as the technology that's used to produce it is getting better. And I have FL Studio on my computer, which I can use to write it myself. I've made attempts. I don't think they're very good. I'll link my Access TV channel in the description where I've uploaded that. I'm not proud of most of it, but I mean that's people use software like this. I think. Well, we've just had Windows 10 come out. After a huge struggle, I've finally been able to actually get it working. I've got a new computer, so it actually works on that. It pretty much destroyed my old one. Let me think. So, yeah, Windows 10 has Cortana, and if that's, if that's kind of integrated into FL Studio in some way at some point in the future, then that could be very powerful. That could vastly accelerate the production of electronic music, and it could allow for richer, more complex sounds. In fact, I think there's going to be a tendency towards, as time goes on, people will get to a point where you can't actually tell if it's electronic music or not. And I've already had this experience, actually, when I watched the film Her by Spike Jonze. The soundtrack was written by the Canadian band Arcade Fire. And there were some sounds in there that, I thought they could have been creatively using their instruments somehow, but they may have also been designed on a computer. And, I looked at Wikipedia. I didn't look into this too much, but I couldn't find any information on exactly how those sounds were designed. But if that's where we were 2 years ago, then very soon I think most people will be able to create music this way. And you know, in the past, I think the reason for the kind of sneering towards electronic music is because it's mostly been used in a very gimmicky way. It's been used as basically the hook for the song, rather than, you know, integrated seamlessly into the into the narrative of the song. It's just another instrument, but but that's what I think the future of music's going to be like. Richer sounds, streaming, and well, there we go. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Goodbye.